Teachers, let us see how we can make children get engaged with language. That is the way we have learnt languages, not one language, many languages. For example, we never learn to read by listening to somebody reading out. We ourselves indulged in reading, that is what we call it engagement with language. Teachers, in this short discussion we will find ways and means how a teacher can engage children to work in and work with language. Teachers, we know that when children come to school at 3 plus or even 3 or 4 plus, whatever the age they come to school, they come with one fully blown language orally they can speak. For example, Hindi mother tongue child knows Hindi very well to speak, to use for purposes. He or she may not be able to read, but oral language the child knows, and the child also uses the language grammatically correct orally. So, it means that the child knows grammar implicitly, not explicitly. So, this is one, and the second language is introduced in Indian context. Mostly it is English language, and there are problems of children in minority tribal language context. The home language and the language of the neighborhood is different from the language of the school. So, let us see some activities through which we can, how we can build familiarity with the language and engage children with language. The first and foremost, we believe that creating language rich environment in the classroom. How? Children come to school, they have to notice language, noticing by seeing, noticing by hearing, not even listening, hearing. So, here is a teacher who has created language rich environment by writing the names of the objects on them in whatever languages available in the classroom. See how a teacher creates language rich environment in the classroom. What she has done is, she has written the names of the objects on them in whatever languages available in the classroom. So, here is a typical Indian classroom where you can find more than 2-3 languages. So, here on the door of the classroom she has written in Hindi, English and Tamil. So, children the same way on the wall she has written in English, Tamil and Hindi.
This is wall in English, Hindi में दीवार और तमिल में स्वर. हिंदी में दरवाज़ा, in English door and Tamil में कदव.
In English it is window, Hindi में खिड़की, in Tamil जन्नल. In English this is table, Hindi में मेज़, in Tamil मेजई.
When children come and they can notice it, so they can connect it. Now, the question which may arise in you is, how come children will see a word and learn? We have to begin with the conventional thinking of, we have to begin with the letters of alphabet. No. See, teachers, research has proved, and we also know that we never learnt in our mother tongue the letters of the alphabet first, then moved on to words. And we call it whole language perspective. The basic unit of teaching children is word or word chunk. So, teach for meaning. So, this is the first and foremost thing we should attempt to make children notice language associating with the objects. So, we are teaching for meaning. So, how a teacher engages children through an activity. So, she has picked up a story and made in 2 versions of it. In one story A, she has removed the even sentences, sentence 2, 4, 6, 8 likewise. In the second one, she has removed the odd sentences, that is 1, 3. So, children are working in pairs. So, one child is given this A, the other child. Now, the first child will read out the first sentence, the second child will write. Likewise, they complete it. Now, we will see how we will demonstrate it.
One day, a farmer found in the nest of his goose an egg all yellow and glittering.
The second sentence is, when he picked it up, it was as heavy as iron.
He killed it and opened it. He killed it and opened it, comma, only to find nothing.
Well done. Both of you have mutually done it. Okay, I'm going to ask one of you to read out. Generally, both should read out. But let's say one of you read out, then find out. The other person can find whether your partner has listened to it properly and written the story. Come on. Who is going to read out?
Okay, I'll read from the beginning.
Fine. But you read the whole story.
Okay. One day a farmer found in the nest of his goose an egg all yellow and glittering. When he picked it up, it was as heavy as iron. He was going to throw it away because he thought somebody has been playing trick upon him. But he took it home and soon found to his delight that it was an egg of pure gold. Every morning the same thing happened. Soon he became rich by selling his golden eggs. As he grew rich, he grew greedy. He thought that he can become rich very soon, if the gold of the goose comes all at once. He killed it and opened it, only to find nothing.
Fine. The greedy farmer got his reward. So you may ask a question, how this is engaging children with language. You know, they are working in language with language by reading out, the other child listens, writes. So this is what one of the ways of engaging children with language. So this may be done in classes 3, 4 kind of thing. Then come on, the second activity for engaging with language. So the teacher is reading out 5 sentences, a story of 5 sentences. 2 children or 3 or 4 children together listen to it, and they do not write when the teacher reads out in between. The teacher completes all the 5 sentences, then children discuss among themselves, recreate the story nearer to the story, not exactly the same story. 2 frogs. It was a hot summer, all the ponds and lakes had got dried up. 2 frogs went looking for a new place to live in. They found a well. Let's jump in. There's a lot of water here. We can live happily, said one frog. No, no, said the other. There is water here now, but if it dries up, we cannot ever come out. Now, try, discuss, create the story.
Sure, sir.
It was a hot summer.
Yes, so
On the pond.
so it's a story about 2 frogs.
Yes.
It was a hot summer, as you said. What else? So they were looking for water in a lake,
Yes.
because their own lake has
Dried
dried
up.
up. So after finding, what they found out? They found
found
out
a well.
which
And-
had water.
Yes.
Yes.
And one frog said, let's jump in.
Yes.
It has water and we can live happily here.
Yes.
And the other said, no, no, it has water now.
Yes.
But it will dry up soon.
Yes.
And when it's dried up, we will not be able to come up again.
Yes,
Come
absolutely.
out of it.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you, read out the story.
Okay. Let me read out what have we created here. It was a hot summer. All the ponds and lake had dried up. 2 frogs went looking for a new place to live. They found a well. Let's jump in, said one frog. It has a lot of water. We can live happily, said another. No, no, it has water now. Once it gets dried up, we will be never able to come out of it.
Fine, okay. You have got nearer to the story. I also wanted to recreate a story nearer to it, not necessarily exactly the same. So I am going to read out to you. You check it, how far you are nearer. So I am happy that you got the meaning of whatever was read out.
Yes,
Fine.
sir.
Okay. It was a very hot summer. All the ponds and lakes had dried up. Two frogs went looking for a new place to live in. They found a well. Let's jump in. There is lots of water here. We can live happily, said one frog. No, no, said the other. There is water here now, but if it dries up, we cannot ever come out. Okay. What you have missed out is, so one frog said something, the other frog said another, that particular thing. But the story remains intact. Teachers, let us understand, in this story also they have to listen very carefully, absorb its meaning and recreate the story nearer to it. If they create exactly, well and good, because it is only 5 sentences, but if you say 10 sentences, children have to process it in their mind. This is called, we call it language processing. Teachers and of course resource persons and key resource persons, we will have to really demonstrate to teachers that this is how things can be done. Let us do activities which teachers can adopt to the classroom with modification. So, that is why these 2-3 activities, they may be very trivial, simple, but they engage children with language. This is the major thing. So, you may devise anything, even reading out, storytelling. See that each and every class of yours in your training gives ideas for teachers to engage learners with language. So, thank you very much. So, we hope that we will carry forward these ideas.